Okay guys, so back to section 9, number 10 and 11 in the learning objectives of the CXC Math syllabus. And this time we're actually going to do the inverse of a matrix. Okay, whoa, that's kind of too thick there. Right, the inverse of a matrix. So we're going to define the multiplicative inverse of a non-singular square matrix, and we're going to obtain the inverse of a non-singular 2 by 2 matrix. Cool. So you notice it says determinant and adjoint matrix and the adjoint of a matrix here, right? Right down here. And it says that because you actually need the determinant and you actually need the adjoint matrix to find the inverse. So that's why we did those two videos earlier. If you haven't watched the two videos on the determinant and the adjoint matrix, I suggest you watch those videos first. But let's just go over let's just define determinant, right? So let's say you have a matrix A, right? A is equal to A, B, C, and D, right? The determinant, that's a symbol for the determinant, right? Is equal to AD, which is the main diagonal, minus BC, which is the other diagonal, right? Also, for the same matrix A, the adjoint matrix, right? The adjoint matrix for A, which let's call it A adjoint, is equal to, you switch the main diagonal, so it's D, A, and you put a negative sign on the other diagonal, which is negative B and negative C, right? Cool, not too bad. Okay, so we need these definitions here to find the inverse. So now we're going to define what the inverse is. Let's just clear the screen here so we'll have some space. Okay, all right, so we're going to find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, all right, so let's define it. Let's say you have a matrix with the same letters here, A, B, C, D. The inverse, which we would call A to the negative 1. Wow, that's not looking great. All right, A to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over, let's put a little line there. Let's make it neat. 1 over the determinant of A, right, multiplied by A adjoint. Okay, cool. So let's just write out the symbols here so you can get an idea. So it would be 1, let's put that line again, over, right, let's find the determinant here. It would be AD minus BC multiplied by A adjoint, and if we put that in a matrix, we should get D. A, we switch the main diagonal, and we'll put a negative sign on the numbers in the other diagonal. And this is the definition. So, great. I like this definition. It's looking good. So this is how you find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. Cool. This is the definition here. I would suggest that you write this down. Cool. All right. Great. Okay, so let's do two examples. We can't do too many examples in this case because it can get a little long. So let's do two examples here. Let's use easy example. Let's use 2, 4, 1, 3. That's the matrix, right? And the question says find the inverse, right, of A. Cool. All right, so let's find the inverse. So the inverse of A, which is A to the negative 1, should be 1 over the determinant of A multiplied by A adjoint, right? Cool. So a to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over 2 times 4, that's the main diagonal, minus 1 times 3, which is the other diagonal, multiplied by a adjoint, which should be 4, 2, you switch the main diagonal, and negative 1, negative 3. Cool? Not bad. So let's continue up here. So a to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over 8 minus 3, right? 8 minus 3 multiplied by 4 minus 1 minus 3, 2. Cool? All right, so let's just clear the left side here. So, all right, so we're going to get a to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over 5 multiplied by the adjoint matrix, 4, 2, negative 1, negative 3, right? Okay, so we're going to multiply the stuff in the brackets by the 1 over 5. This is a scalar multiplication, right? So we're going to get 4 over 5, right? Negative 1 over 5. Then negative 3 over 5 and 2 over 5. And this is the inverse, all right? Okay, all right, guys. I don't think we need another example. I think this is enough to explain how to find the inverse. And great. I think this is a wonderful example. So we pretty much know how to find the inverse now based on the formula. And in the next video, guys, we'll finish up this topic. We're going to look a little more at the inverse. We're going to look at something called the identity matrix. Okay, so we're going to check it out in the next video. Thanks for your time, guys. And remember, do your best, and God will do the rest. Have a great day.